And welcome to another edition of the Smart Aviator Podcast. I'm Larry Anglisano. And today on the podcast, we're talking about aircraft insurance. And it's a pretty hot topic these days. With Alon Admi. He's with Skywatch Insurance Agency. And Alon, you know, I've been covering the aircraft insurance market since the early 1990s. And believe it or not, it was a soft market for a lot of years, and it was a buyer's market, but that's not the case anymore. Do you think the insurance market has gotten it wrong when it comes to assessing risk? And, you know, I don't care about the pilot's experience, what they're flying, or their age, or any of that. I'm just talking in general. Does there need to be a different way to assess risk?
So, insurance companies in general are very conservative. I mean, that's true in aviation insurance and auto insurance and homeowners, whatever. That's the type of industry that we're dealing with. Yes, I mean, I do believe that certain segments of the market, the pricing should probably should be adjusted, and I think they should put more emphasis on pinpoint the risk for specific pilots, meaning to tailor the premium and not just to look at the number of hours and ratings that someone has. They should look at, like I said, you know, how the aircraft is being used, how risky the pilot is, how what type of recent training the pilot may have done. If it's a Cirrus, maybe like a CSIP. If it's a multi-engine, maybe some sort of recurrency training. They need to look at more aspects, not just the age, the number of hours, and the ratings and the location of the aircraft.
Yeah, well, you know, let's look at some of those demands on training and take an airplane we've been reporting on over at Abrief here is the twin Cessna. Maybe it's a 310, maybe it's a 340. What kind of demands is the insurance market placing on pilots for recurrent, or maybe even initial training on those complex, high-performance twins, pressurized and non-pressurized?
So if we're talking about non-pressurized, first of all, if someone does not have enough hours in type, if it's a new purchase, they're going to have to get X amount of hours with the CFI before they'll be covered as pilot in command. Usually I see somewhere around anywhere between 15 to 25 hours if someone has no time in type before they can fly as a pilot in command, especially if they just received their multi rating. So if they don't have much time in multi, they will definitely going to need somewhere around 20, 25 hours of dual. If they already have significant time in multis, and they don't have time in type, they might need something like a few hours, maybe 3-5 hours of dual before they can fly as a pilot in command. And by the way, during the time that they will fly dual with the CFI, they are covered. That's not going to be an issue. If you're looking at pressurized twins, the demands are a little bit higher. They will need recurrency training once a year at a school that specializes in that particular model, usually, not just any CFI. I mean, if you're an airline pilot, if you're a professional pilot, you may not be required to do the recurrency training because you're already doing a lot of training. But recreational pilots will probably going to need to have annual training before they can fly as a pilot in command every 12 months.
Let's take it down several notches and look at the light sport market. What's going on down there in small airplanes? Two places.
I think we're in a good place right now.
Yeah.
Now we have the Mosaic rules coming in. I think I'm pretty optimistic, unless we're going to see a lot of claims in the near future. I think everyone will benefit from those changes. The pilots will benefit from it. They will be able to fly things like sport pilots that they weren't able to fly before. I'm hoping that they will be safe out there and the number of claims will not go up and therefore the premium will remain about the same. My advice for senior pilots is first of all, stick with their own aircraft, not to try to switch them to a model they never had experience before in their 70s, because that's going to be much harder for them to get insurance or to get favorable insurance premiums. So insurance companies, when it comes to senior pilots, they will prefer to insure a pilot that has a lot of experience in that particular model, especially when you're talking about retractable, complex aircraft. So that's very important, to have a lot of time in type, to have a lot of time in retract, and obviously, the appropriate ratings as well.
Yeah. Any other aircraft, since we're talking about airplanes and talking about retracts and high-performance complex airplanes, are there any other aircraft that might be a red flag? And, regardless of the pilot's age, say tail draggers, any additional risk there from an underwriter standpoint?
So with tail draggers, again, most insurance companies would love to insure someone who already has some tail wheel time, not to jump what they call a transition pilot. A transition pilot is someone who's moving from a certain category to another. For insurance carrier, that's considered a higher risk. So if someone only flew tricycle configuration, then one day decide to move to a tail dragger, that's a little bit of a red flag. I'm not saying you cannot get insurance. Obviously you can, but the premium is going to be higher opposed to someone who has a lot of experience with tail draggers. Same with someone who's moving from a fixed gear to a retractable gear. Yes, a lot of companies will see it as a red flag. Some carriers are specialized in what I'm calling transition pilots, and they will have no issues insuring those guys. But yes, the premium will be higher, at least at first, and then after time, after they're going to get significant time in type, the premium will start decreasing over time. Also, multi-engines, that's a big issue. When someone is moving from a single to a multi, the premium will increase drastically. I'm talking about sometimes 2-3 times than what they used to pay before. It's because of various reasons. First of all, it's really expensive to fix multi-engines. It's hard to find parts. A lot of them are really old, like bearings from the 50s and 60s. So the cost of repairs is really high. Also, if you're inexperienced as a multi-engine pilot, that's a red flag for the insurance company. So moving to a multi-engine, I would advise someone to do that only when they have at least 500-600 hours of total time and a significant retract time, because obviously all multis are retract as well. So that's very important to have as much experience as possible before you dive into the multi-engine market.
Yeah. So Skywatch as an agency, so you basically search the policy through multiple carriers, or is there one carrier that you're exclusive with?
So Skywatch is unique in the market. We are a broker. However, we created a unique system where you can go to a website, and the website is linked to several carriers. So you can get, assuming you will meet the minimum underwriting guidelines, you should be able to get a quote on the spot from us. Everyone else, you can just provide your information online, but you don't get quotes on the spot. They have to actually shop the market and get back to you a couple of days later. With us, because we are linked directly to other carriers, it's as if you are using the carrier's portal to get the quote. So if you like the quote, you can pay for it on the spot, and without even the need to talk to anyone, and you'll get an automated email with all your policy documents. We make it that easy. But even if you're not ready to buy, even if you're just considering buying an aircraft and you want to see, if you're eligible or how much that would cost you, then we have the perfect system for you. Now, in some cases, not everyone will get approved. Like we mentioned, sometimes they're higher risk, or the certain types of aircraft that you're looking to buy, it's not something that you have a lot of experience or any experience in. So you might get a message that we cannot offer you a quote at this time, but we will check through other channels that are not linked directly to our website. So we will get back to you with a quote, but not instantly. So our system is, like I said, it's really unique, and I really recommend everyone to try it.
How about flight clubs? And maybe, you've got a basic airplane that you put into a flight club arrangement. Maybe you've got half dozen members, all different experience levels, some students, some experienced pilots. You've got a variety of pilots flying this airplane. From what I can see, the rates are going higher for flying clubs. Is that correct?
I didn't see a significant change for flight clubs. It's a great arrangement for pilots who cannot afford buying their own aircraft. Usually, most policies will require the members to have some sort of a training with the CFI, maybe once a year, maybe twice a year. And honestly, most clubs, they use simple trainers like 172s, 150s, Piper Cherokees. So those are low-risk aircraft to start with, opposed to a complex aircraft. So the risk is already fairly low when it comes to the type of aircraft. And you're right. Members could be, sometimes they're student pilots, sometimes they could be ATPs. I mean, it's a broad range of experience, and the insurance companies are taking that into consideration.
How about experimentals?
Experimentals, so it depends on the type. If you look at Vans RVs or Zenith, I mean, there's so many out there. There's a really good claim history for those, and those are fairly easy to insure. If you're looking at pretty unique ones, that there are only a few of them out there, those are going to be way harder to insure because insurance companies don't have enough data to rely on and to figure out, how risky they are, what the cost of repairs, claim history, etc. So
Yeah.
those are a little bit harder to insure, especially if you're talking about one of a kind that someone decided to build in their garage and they modify the, pretty much anything, everything there. I mean,
Anything
it's
goes.
completely unique. So those are really, really hard to insure. So you have to take that into consideration before you get into such a project that it's going to be pretty difficult to find insurance for that one.
Yeah, yeah. Is it correct that Skywatch doesn't deal with turbines?
We don't at this point, but that might change in the future.
Okay.
We try to stick to piston, single multis. We can do jets here and there a little bit through other channels.
Okay.
But yeah, our bread and butter are definitely the single multis and a lot of experimentals too.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
just certified.
Yeah.
We're looking to try to custom tailor the specific insurance needs for a specific pilot based on data that we would love to collect in the future. Like I said, from flight logs, and also from other systems that they might be able to share with us. So this is something that is in the works. We do use AI more and more, and we would love to integrate that even more. So by the way, our website is skywatch.ai, and that's exactly what we mean by that. We offer also, in addition to the annual policies, we offer short-term policies. So you can get a policy for the day, for the week, or for the month, And we can cover things like seaplanes, we can cover experimentals, we can cover multi-engine, we can also cover CFIs who are looking to instruct on someone else's aircraft, if it's at the flight school or if someone is approaching them and is being asked to provide them with training on their own personal aircraft. Also, when it comes to senior pilots, 2.5 years ago at Oshkosh, so Oshkosh 2023, we met with the president of AOPA at the time, and we created a special senior pilot program, we called it, basically because there was a high demand for insurance by senior pilots who are still flying out there. And there were a lot of complaints about the fact that they either cannot get insurance or their premium is so high. We came up with a unique program for senior pilots where the guidelines were changed. We made them more flexible for the senior pilots, for them to get insurance. And we basically were able to come up with also a unique program just for liability for the senior pilots. Senior pilots in their 70s, for example, they're already financially off. Many of them really eager to keep on flying, and they don't mind just getting liability coverage. They're okay with the financial burden if should they damage their own aircraft.
So they'll self-insure the hull.
Correct. So we came up as part of the senior pilot program, in addition to the fact that the guidelines were changed, make it more flexible, we also created different guidelines for liability only. So you may not be able to get a quote for full coverage with us. Let's say you're a 78-year-old with a Saratoga. However, there is an option in a website to basically request liability only, and then the system will recalculate everything. And with different guidelines, you might be able to get just the liability that you're looking for. So that's a good option for pilots who cannot get insurance anywhere else. They can potentially just get the liability opposed to liability and hull coverage. And I'll be honest with you, I have multiple pilots in their 80s with just liability. Recently insured an 87-year-old and an Aranca champ. He was so grateful for the fact that I was able to offer him liability coverage, and he can keep on flying for hopefully a couple more years.
You've been watching the Smart Aviator podcast here, hosted by AvBrief. If you haven't subscribed to AvBrief, go ahead and do it. It's free. You'll get access to daily aviation news, commentary, product reviews from the Smart Aviator digital magazine, and experimental aircraft, too, from the Experimental Aviator digital magazine. I'm Larry Anglisano. Thanks for watching.
Thank you very much for having me, and feel free to go to skywatch.ai and check us out.